are picking that it has been decided by the players, maybe through scrims, that
Jenkins just mentioned, kind of morph into what the meta of this again, these teams have been here since day one. They've been in there playing the pubs. Like, the playoff teams have the biggest kind of test to either show development.
10 seconds
they've
remaining.
not been forced to play, and they can basically copy, learn, adapt, and improve.
5 seconds remaining.
Go up in this.
Oh, it feels good. Valley, populated with Dota heroes. 1,000 years. Not seen any. So good. Those lotuses, they need blood to grow.
Dire team pick.
yeah, the real world's not even
Enchantress.
1,000 years old, so it's good that Cataclysm.
You subscribe to that theory, eh? The Great Cataclysm.
Edge of the world yet? Over the edge of the world?
I have not seen Over the Edge because I can't.
You know, people always make fun of the flat earthers.
10
till
seconds
one of them
remaining.
says, "Bring them to the edge," and they blindfold him. Then no one's
5
left.
seconds remaining.
Terrifying.
Fall off.
That's what we see. The Enchantress picked up with a Dragon Knight. Already looking pretty good. 2 very good heroes, but Mars still maintaining that high win rate. Despite everyone knowing how to play against the hero, everyone understanding what the hero's about. He's a simple hero.
Dire
There's
team
no
back.
tricks with Mars. No one's doing anything cool. Ooh, but that's pretty cool. Second pick, terrifying.
I like that. In regards to the Mars idea that they mentioned it on
Radiant team ban.
idea of pairings. Mars is right now is one of the offlaners that has the best enabling factor to getting like any ranged hero. Mars just gives you. It's hard to have a bad lane. That's why. Then the
Dire
TV hit
team
going straight
back.
into engine. Development of what's the meta where if DK is an offlane, TV can have a great time. Always able to
Radiant
push out the lanes,
team ban.
going into mid game. So if you're skipping and playing the correct map, this DK doesn't really have its effect of just barreling down.
I think also something with Mars and T that you never feel like you lack damage. Like, if you feel like you lack damage with it be on your team,
10
guy
seconds
probably
remaining.
like this hero just like obliterate.
5 seconds
See people to be
remaining.
locked right? Like locked in an area. Mars doesn't do that much damage now, other than like, but if you can get some other hero, like you said, Drow or this chunk out damage
Dire
during his
team
arena,
ban.
it looks absolutely.
So kind of like the idea of DK lineups about kind of that instance on a one hero killing them. Saw it in series when Arteezy was playing. It was very sacrificial. He was always able to save the guy that would be jump and turn it on the fight. And I don't think you can never
10
forget
seconds
about the
remaining.
value of Sunder in these type of.
Sure.
It's a smaller matchup, but it's an intricate part of
5
how teams.
seconds remaining.
I wonder how the Aghanim Scepter on TB here synergizes with the Mars ulti. I don't think it's
yeah.
that long of a, so maybe it's not the biggest deal, but I have never actually seen combo together. Dark Willow.
The Lone Druid Mars. I remember, I think it was Gunner or something was like bashing on that, but I was like, guys, we need to pick Lone Druid and Mars, and then the bear will run in, and then fear everyone, and then they'll bash their faces
That's just
into
like
the
a
wall.
scuffed Dark Willow.
Yeah, I know,
This is
exactly.
Dark Willow.
Yeah, this is like ultra scuffed Dark Willow.
Yeah, but you know, it's something. You know, it's something on top of the fact that they already synergize well
Scuffed
together.
gameplay can win majors in
Yeah,
PI.
for sure. Dota 2 is
Radiant
One minute,
team
nonetheless.
ban.
Rude babies die. The game nearly shuts itself off.
does.
Very
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah, wish.
Yeah, what's up with that? Where is Brood Mama?
I mean,
T1 are losers with it. They played it twice within the regional league, and then they lost.
10 seconds
I-
remaining.
Kind of over.
I personally think XXS is literally the best brood on the planet.
5
so
seconds
I'm
remaining.
shocked that one was okay with leaving that in. And
Still plenty of
Radiant team pick.
sure, yeah, actually, Mars is a
Dire team
viable
pick.
mid. And, sure they can play mid.
They have played it mid. I league now T1, White One looks like they.
Slay together,
Lion.
slay together.
Oh, he's dancing.
Thanks,
We're
guys.
in.
Thanks a lot.
We're in. I mean, Lion's got a lot to be happy
Radiant
about. It's been a
team
really
pick.
long time. It's been anything meta. Wow, Phoenix is very small. that little creature. Lion's like half his size, for God's sake. He could eat that. It looks like a chicken. Imagine dying to a flaming chicken. Embarrassing. But anyway, Lion's had a rough ride.
10
for many
seconds
seasons.
remaining.
Now he is top tiers.
I like this
Dire
hero as a
team
response to the kind of overwhelming healing and people are picking, because you have this Phoenix Mars like crazy team fight, right? What happens if you just burst one of these?
The Ignition God can sing and dance on time.
10 seconds remaining.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's just a Morphlings model.
5 seconds remaining.
Come on, guys. Look at that.
He's on beta at some point, right?
Sweet Jesus, look at him next to Lion. This beautiful, beautiful, evil creature that you have this nightmare of polygons. Get him out of my sight. All right, anyway. So Morphling picked up here. Usually we see Morphling picked up big Synergy, you know? Your Willows, your Earthshakers. Nothing too crazy here. Does he go too well with anything on T1's
Dire
lineup?
team back.
Sounds pretty
Lena.
cool, actually.
So,
Got the
yeah.
7 seconds straight of stun.
Now the Lena is very much a risk to Morphling. Mars, I'd assume would be offlane with the Phoenix here. Lena is now. You have that kind of explosive.
10 seconds
I like
remaining.
how in the tournament so far we've seen the development of Lena.
5 seconds remaining.
Thank you.
Radiant
So
team
use
back.
AC, maybe play for yourself and not just kind of ags kind of style of build where you're trying to. And that alone will give you quite a.
Yeah, all you need to do on Lena, 5 some initial. A lot of teams are crazy fight and kind of area
10
control. Like I would even
remaining.
consider Terrorblade to be area control here. If you walk
5
into him,
seconds
die.
remaining.
Sit next to a Terrorblade and he's meta'd, and you're Lena, you can just sit there doing damage with him. Same with Mars, so you can't walk into the arena. And so picking these heroes with Lena, I think makes a lot of sense, because then you don't need to care as much about the positioning element with Lena, where oftentimes she'll get so huge game, but then just feed. Squishy mid hero that only does damage, the glass cannon. I really do like this draft from I think they have a ton of damage in the late game and a lot of heroes.
Key thing is like they were limited on kind
Dire
of
team ban.
powers. DK is just your you need a mid that can also match up against Lena independent. Kill off the creep, so DK power. Aster's game is about buying time. T1 when you have heroes like Lion, they're looking for skirmishes, pickoffs, and
10
pure
seconds
5-on-5.
remaining.
They can never truly, unless their last pick be a mid or off.
Radiant team ban.
Right now, it's about getting quick kills, getting a couple items, getting the game going inside. Whilst Aster, Selena pick, the Phoenix, like they're basically accepting that slow-paced laning phase, push out lanes, ramp up the aggression going.
10 seconds remaining.
For Echelon.
5 seconds
I like that they
remaining.
did their homework. Aster bans out the Bat Rider. One has been running Bat Rider a few times in the few games that they've played since they've done, really anything since the. That's great. It means they did their research. They'll be ready for this.
Key thing here is Aster just tuning out the DK paired with Enchantress. It is going to be like a last pick.
That's a super, incredibly easy. I think just DK stun paired with any
Dire team pick.
incredibly good. And I actually think that T1 needs early mid-game damage. Enchantress is going to carry the laning stun that you need. The late-game damage from them, but they don't have any damage in the early game. And so
10 seconds
something like
remaining.
a Death Prophet. Quite nice. I think the Bat Rider would have been
5
a fantastic
seconds
option as
remaining.
well.
The only issue with early pace in the heroes, the Lena does so well.
The Lena does incredible.
And that's kind of where
Classic
this
honor.
generic style of Lena pick will rise in popularity, because you pick this Lena and it's like, oh, do we really pick to beat the Lena but have a great? You want to have kind of jump and catch, but when your initial picks are very anti kind of
Radiant
hard
team
to
pick.
pull everything to goes for the Nick assassin.
Yeah, they get a last pick Nick. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
I know they're just ignoring what so many people have valued in the stage and the wild card.
Both teams get Nyx banned against that bot.
Yeah.
So it's surprising that neither team bans it
10
until the
seconds
last
remaining.
pick. This is always cool when you drafts have
5
studied
seconds
so
remaining.
much for this match that you can tell that kind of bait. And then the teams also know that the enemy team is baiting stuff, and so they're not picking it, you know? So everything changes.
It also prevents, like, for don't pick fatigue. Fully subscribe to the idea of catch the quick hero, get a kill, and move to the next pick. Removes that from the game. You can't really go with Leshrac and give pace to your lineup. Yeah, like, the fact that you get a last pick Nyx really does. Aster, T1 are going to probably pull their time here. Find out what they need.
TA is still the OP hero that's available for. Don't really have. I mean, it's another late game here. Morphling, that a sus, especially lacking damage since you're offline.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
They got a last pick Brood.
Sure.
All right.
Nyx and into a Brood.
Wow.
Okay, so. Okay.
All right. So both, you know, has a little bit of flair of their own, but we do see a lot of these similar heroes off. You were talking some big ups on the Broodmother. Make the difference here?
Was an Aster Brood? I would say yes. I mean,
Mhm.
XXS, give him a Brood game that's good. He's going to run up. I've heard about Cuckoo Brood, but I'm sure he's practicing it a lot.
Good things?
I don't know how this. I think there are the Mars, you know, are both good at spiders in the mid, and I think TB's fine against Brood. The armor. So all you need to do is in rotation if you're Aster, and I don't think the Brood that much of a Trump pick. And
Yeah, so yeah, this Brood pick, it really puts a lot of emphasis of having to take control of the. They need to be able to strip the map quite quick. The Ench can play really well with that, but if this kind of take one bad fight from the simplicity of Aster's lineup, will just. It is a last pick Brood. It doesn't feel like the gotcha pick, but it's more about giving them a 15-minute timing to just.
Right, and it is a Radiant Brood, so when they're controlling the enemy jungle, they brush with the Morphling, so that does make it a lot better.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll be heading over to that game relatively soon, but I want to hear it. Prediction time, boys.
Prepare for
I have to
battle.
go with Aster. The quality of their team fight is unwind T1.
Listening is team fight. A very simple answer. Jenkins.
I think they have a ton of damage, and then they have great heroes.
Good enough for me, Jenkins. No need to elaborate. We've got that game ready to go. Let's throw it on into our first game of the day.
Thank you very much, Slash. Yes, T1 versus Aster, ready to go here. I'm ODPixel, joined by the fabulous Lacoste. Lacoste, I know, of course, you've been following both of these regions very, very close. We're finally going to get to see, you know, Aster and T1 coming in at the playoffs to go head-to-head. What are your expectations looking at this first game, and what do you think about these sort of the scary picks from both sides? The Brood coming out from T1, but Aster having that strong old Terrorblade carry that just seems to win game after game. Okay, I think Acosta's just making his way over a few technical hiccups, but don't worry, that means you're stuck with me, just me for now. But here we go. Bouncer is spawning. Are we going to see any action? It doesn't look like it. Monet has a bit of a look in at the top, but of course not wanting to get involved. And we'll see what lane setups we're going to have. Anything surprising? Doesn't look like it. Cuckoo obviously starting up top on the off-lane Brood. We're going to have Zephyr up there as well, trying their best to put some harassment onto Monet on the early levels. Bottom lane, 23 Savage playing that carry morph. He's going to have to do it into the rather spooky lane here at the Phoenix and Mars. XXS Mars and Borax Phoenix at least still have one hero, and definitely could be a lane. Always, there we have it. You're in. Lacoste, how you doing, sir? And
I'm back. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, definitely. P1 against Aster. the best coming out from the both regions. T1, the team that improved the most in the second season. Definitely a team to look out for. 23 Savage and his signature hero, morphing on the bottom lane, paired up with the Lion. This is the standard tier 1 lineup that I've seen throughout the second season. Whitemon really does well on the Lion, been able to get so many clutch initiations once he gets a Blink Dagger. But yeah, looking at the lane setup, morphing against Lion plus the good old school combo. We have Mars plus a Phoenix and Broodmother. Panel talked about Cuckoo, Broodmother, you know, not been impressed the most compared to some other Broodmothers, but I hope he's been practicing.
Yeah, sure. I mean, this game, when you look at the Brood, can you see why T1 wanted to go that way with the ending of the draft? Is this you know, is this a good Brood game, or are you looking at Aster's lineup and feeling that they have got ways to deal with Cuckoo and his spiders?
It looks like a good Broodmother game. They don't have that one hero that can just go in and park himself in the lane. Probably gonna need to be Mars when TB goes back to jungle, but we'll see. Because like Lina is not sustainable. You want to give all the levels pretty much to Broodmother, and Enchantress can also get some farm in the jungle and leave some solo XP for the Broodmother. Get that level 6 early on, start to pressure the tower, and to go back to Cuckoo's Broodmother. He's been the only Broodmother that I've seen that invades enemy triangle.
Okay. Oh, bottom, white one. Nearly dying there. He's got a south good to go. And, oh yeah, so far, Cuckoo, I mean, he's laning, but pretty damn hot. You know, 12 for 2 against the 8-0 Mono. Having that lane advantage here as... There we have it. He's not having a fun time here. We saw earlier, you know, Zephyr just harassing Lanham out of the lane and actually able to get the first blood on him. So, I mean, this top lane is... I don't think it could be going any better here for T1. This is a fantastic start up top.
It's a great start for them. And Lanham, he needs to be more careful. Usually he's the one playing these tanky position 5s, playing the Abaddon, playing the Treant Protector, so much better at trading. This time around, it's a Nyx Assassin 5. You know, this... hero doesn't trade well, doesn't provide with much early on, something that Lanham does, extremely greedy player. Once he plays that Nyx Assassin, going for the Witch Blade into Aghanim sector, especially if he finds that Philistone Spear.
Oh, they're doing
Fake
regen down here, white one. He's only got one tango left to give him. So yeah, it's 23 Savage. He's going to be quite cautious down. He's got the career coming out, but just the band of weapons get no further regen. So definitely a chance for Aster to pressure. And look at this XXS. He's able to see the opportunity to get the spear in, but 23 Savage still with just enough strength to stop Aster from diving in further with the two of them. And he is going to have to be careful. As I say, sitting under this tower, very, very low. The pressure really being put on this bottom lane for 23 Savage.
Couriers are going back. They need to bring a healing salve. Whitemon already bought one. XXS Mars has been very impressive throughout the first and the second season. He might actually be the best Mars player in the world. Top lane, a lot of pressure. They didn't block the big camp, so Enchantress keeps getting these creeps. And now Monet.
I mean, he's just crushing it up there. Yeah, he's killing Lanham, he's killing Monet now. And now Lanham, I mean, he's got to run. I don't know how safe he's going to be either. And he has got the Spike Carapace, so from some of the impetus damage, but they're having a fantastic time, this top lane. Zephyr and Cuckoo on the Enchantress Brood. They're making sure this Terrorblade has a really tough opening this game.
This lane just might be done. Like TB, one more death, and he needs to get the hell out. Right now doesn't have a conjure image, so can't really farm the jungle that effectively. We didn't talk too much about the mid lane. It's pretty even in terms of CS 2020. Dragon Knight can't be really killed by Lina. Dragon Blood 3 points in it, so pretty hard to take down. White Album, he's gonna need to do some heavy lifting in this game. Like, he needs to be able to have a good game, because top lane is pretty much a disaster. 29-9 on Cuckoo. Last time I've seen him play the Broodmother, he invested a lot of gold in all these small items.
Is he gonna? I don't think he's gonna get away from this. Zephyr, he's not got any mana left. Still, Lanham just having to run him, so probably all the way back to base here. No healing on him. Yeah, Zephyr continues to be a right nuisance. I mean, when you see sort of Zephyr have this strong start, is there potential for him to make moves? I mean, are we going to see action coming over towards the mid? You know, what do you do with such that we've had top as T1?
You can rotate to the mid lane. There's a ton of kill potential, especially with the siege creep approaching. Dragon Knight about to hit level 6, has enough mana sustain with the soul ring, so potentially a kill there. But what he's doing right now is just giving XP to Broodmother because he set him off for a really good start.
Yeah, no, he really did. Cuckoo is going to be very, very happy with this. You know, top CS now having to start putting the pressure into the tower. And
Monet's gone.
Just still, he's looking a bit lost. Where does he? He's just got to hit the jungle creeps, right?
He has to. Right now, he was just leeching XP until he got that level 4, gets the Conjure Image, and now starts the jungle. Top lane gone. Once the top tier 1 tower falls, it gives Broodmother even more space to play the jungle. So he might be able to go inside it, might be forced to go inside the triangle and farm there.
See around the mid lane as well, Zephyr. He did grab himself an invis rune, essentially laid down by Aster though, so they'll be ready for him heading in. Zephyr just making the walk through the jungle, seeing if he can potentially find Monet and put pressure on. Meanwhile, on the bottom half here, 23 Savage did sort of have a similar struggle at the start in regards to CS. He's level with CS as Monet, so definitely going to be a game where, you know, the eyes are going to have to be on these offlaners. They're going to become quite the beast. XXS still a little bit, well, quite a bit behind Cuckoo, but the way they split the XP. You know, Cuckoo already level 6. He's got those spiders building up. XXS, he's only just about to hit the 5. So, you know, without a doubt,
Big
Cuckoo
difference.
just leading this game, yeah, with a huge charge.
Yeah, and we can see, I said the TB needs to be in a triangle. He was sitting there waiting until the creeps respawn because Lina was farming it, and now they put the Mars on the top line. Like, this is their only option. I've seen a lot of Mars just keeping the casual Ring of Health. This time around, upgraded to Good of Defiance. Wants to be able to tank it, and he even puts up another point in God's Rebuke. Lanham.
He's dead. Easy killing for Cuckoo. I mean, but it doesn't seem like a fun next game to play. You know, Lanham very much struggling anytime he comes near Zephyr or Cuckoo. These heroes deal with him very easily.
Yeah, usually when I see Lanham, he goes Nyx, Nyx, Nyx. This time around, it's just one sad Nyx. And they collapse in the mid lane. Cuckoo, I love this rotation. Goes to the mid lane. Same goes for Zephyr. He's lurking around the mid lane. They want to secure this tower. Dragon Knight can tank all the damage pretty much. Such a good game from T1. And 25 Savage, he understands there is going to be some kind of rotation to the bottom lane. I better TP to the top, get the XP. Mars can't kill me unless I really mess up.
Regeneration. I mean, as you say, this Cuckoo Brood, he's all over the place. You know, this is not your stationary Brood. He's from top lane to mid, and as you expected, you know, into this triangle. This is, yeah, he's just pretty much taken over the whole map. And then, you know, if you're Aster, how do you play against this? Do you have to sort of group up and try and hunt down the Brood? What's the best move for Aster right now?
They need to use Arena if they want to catch the Brood. Here we go. Arena drop.
Laguna, down the spear, that'll do it. Throw everything down here onto Cuckoo, but August he got down to a neutral creep, Lacoste.
Oh, so nothing.
Oh no! Well, there we. Oh no!
At least he doesn't get a free TP.
I guess, yeah, but yeah, that's definitely a bit of a rough ending to that one there for Aster. Not even getting the kill. Oh no!
They need to set up some vision in the triangle, the Radiant vision, to be able just like there is one ward on the high ground, but maybe one deeper one just to be able to allow Cuckoo to play more aggressive, because that is gonna, you know, set him back a bit.
She's so fine. Coming up the sort of carry matchup still. 23 Savage with nearing a 1k advantage against Monet. Still going to be a very slow ramp up here for the Terrorblade. White right down bottom, trying to find his level 6.
Terrorblade doesn't feel really like a carry right now. Needs he has same amount of farm as Enchantress pretty much. So yeah, position 4 Terrorblade coming into your pubs.
Zephyr definitely the scarier of the two right now with how much pressure this Enchantress has put on. Monet, he's out of that top half of the map. He's down towards bottom. TP's coming in. Carl, is he going to be able to TP and open up with Dragon Tail Stone onto White Album? See, they've got enough burst. They have their fingers up. That's going to be White Album gone. Getting a little too close there to them as Carl pretty much TP's right in front of the face of White Album, and he's not able to get away in time. An easy catch and kill there for T1 on the defense.
Aster still needs to get a single kill on the board, unfortunately for them.
Yeah.
It's about that mental game, Owen, where neutral creep stole it, mid lane, Aster.
They're going in for XXS. It's got the backup of Monet, but there's not going to be anything that helps XXS here.
I guess you're
He cannot save another game. Yeah, 5 for 0.
Both of his abilities used, didn't have anything left to give. This Enchantress has been very active early on. They've been controlling the jungle, and something that I mentioned, you know, the Cuckoo trying to invade the enemy triangle, and here he comes again. Because this is where the most comes from for TB.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Absolutely, yeah. Cuckoo can sort of make his presence known around here. Going to cause a lot of issues for sort of the farming pattern that Mono wants to get back in. We're seeing back at base, and deciding where to head is actually going to be safer for him to farm, and it's not an easy decision to make with how much control T1 is just exuding across the map in these first opening minutes. Bottom lane come up, we'll get caught in the arena, and they'll have to burst for the DK. So again, Aster trying their best here with the group up. They bring the full 5-man down here to get a kill. Ideally though, for them on top of that, they need to get an objective, and they will start pushing towards the tier 1. Problem is top lane, they're starting to get some pressure onto their own tier 2. 23 Savage and Cuckoo pushing in.
Glyph already used by Team Aster, so they need to force a rotation. Right now, they have way too many heroes on the lane. Like, TB doesn't have a meta. Jackie. Game.
Oh. Okay. Unpause.
Apparently that's allowed. Don't click F9. Oh, when we do not want to test it if we can pause the game.
I don't want to test the F9. Don't press F9.
Hands off keyboard. I'm just using my mouse right now. Some deep vision set by Team Aster. 2 wards, pretty much covering the same spot. They see TP rotations on the outpost possibly, so even if one gets devorded, the second one will still give you that vision that you need, something that you don't expect. And Cuckoo on the top lane, taking care of the outpost. Hood down, going into pipe to be able to tank up. This is where the most damage is going to come from. Early magic damage from Lina, from Mars, so he wants to be able to tank up his team. They could potentially go inside the pit, like if they get to 2 kills. Right now, Dragonite getting closer to Blink Dagger, so once you have that, it will be much easier to set things up. There will have that instant initiation.
Go Aster, out on the hunt. They want to find Cuckoo. They want to find that pesky spider. See if they can get the catch on Cuckoo. They've got their arena. Spiders are gone. And Cuckoo, he'll try his best to dodge the spells. We'll dodge a fair few of them. It's a good effort from Cuckoo, but unfortunately for him, not enough to save his life. As Aster, they'll be able to take him out once again.
Yeah, they need to be playing around the Broodmother. Broodmother is super tanky. If there's one stun, pretty much one spell that can keep them in place, possibly Lion, and here we go. Smoke coming out from T1. 23 Savage, Mask going into Yasha, SNY, just to have that status resistance against all of these stuns. White Album, that's full, Yule's done.
And he's going to be heading back, won't be caught by this movement, heading back to refill the mana. They won't find anything with the smoke T1. Cuckoo back in action, ready to start putting the pressure on in the middle lane. Monet finally finding himself some good space down bottom, but still needs a fair bit of time. A lot of recovery still needed here from Monet's Terrorblade to catch up to the likes of Cuckoo and, of course, 23 Savage, who's having a fantastic recovery after what was a tough laning stage for him, at least, that Aster did put against the Morphling.
So far, 23 Savage has been farming, not involved in a single kill. Once he has that SNY done, status resistance is going to be great. They don't have that real save, like they don't have a saving tool, they don't have a Glimmer Cape, nothing, Nature Attendance, not even skilled. For the Enchantress, Zephyr wants to be able to scale, and he's going to become like that another core from position 4 once he gets the items.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Of course, even able to grab some of these TB illusions, get them to farm for himself. You've got to watch out for Zephyr's potential as the game goes on, as we've already seen 3-0. A very good start to the game here from the Enchantress. Aster and T1 getting close to one another again. Cuckoo setting out Spider here, loans a scout Spider to get some information. We'll dive for it, but it's valuable information.
the young baby spider gets for the team.
Lanham thought that they were doing Roche. Will bring numbers, take back the outpost, so they get some extra XP. T1 kind of slowed down the game a bit after those 2 deaths on Cuckoo. They do not want to risk too much. Is there a smoke available? There is one. I guess they're just waiting Carl to finish off the creeps on the mid lane. They're gonna smoke.
They know that there's going to be the temptation from Aster with the ults back online to group up and try and hunt down someone. T1 want to be the first to strike, and they catch Lanham. The biggest, the core kills. Here's Nyx is out. And now down the mid. See what sort of pressure they can put on with the Nyx assassin gone. Just losing a component of Aster's setup and team fight might be enough to really make Aster think twice about how they want to fight here.
It seems like they don't want to go.
Yeah.
Might go inside the pit. Like, they have enough damage, they have enough sustain, enough them the Morphling with the spiders. So it's gonna be Mars getting closer to his Blink Dagger. That's gonna be the form of initiation. White Album, however, I've seen pretty much every single Lina going for more of a right-click oriented build. This time around, he wants to get the Ether Lens. There's more cast range. Zephyr, nice tornado there on pretty much everyone, slowing them down. Roche dropping low.
Yeah, T1. Are they going to get away with this? It looks like they will. Aster not able to step over in time. As there we have it. Aegis picked up by 23 Savage. Now he's going to be feeling even more safe as he gets that build up towards the E-Blade.
E-Blade against T-Blade, very effective. You can easily blow him up. Always going to be that threat, especially amplify the damage coming out from your Lion.
Huge amounts of burst. I mean, of course, trying to build up his health pool here. Monet getting the yes and Y after Dragon Lance. He'll have a good amount of strength, good amount of HP. But yeah, still that overwhelming burst. Probably going to be too much for him to deal with. And as of the moment, no sort of defensive items or capabilities from the rest of Aster. So if they do find the focus onto Monet, it's going to be rather hard for Aster as a team to keep Monet alive if T1 find their target.
Everyone's itemizing more for themselves in this game. You have Phoenix going for the Spirit Vessel to be able to go through the stankiness of a Morphling, Dragon Knight, even Broodmother once she uses that insatiable hunger. And next Assassin, that's just a classic Lanham build. Falcon Blade, position 5. Does not get more greedier than that. I don't think you can even, maybe Hand of Midas is a bit greedier, but it's up there.
I mean, it's yeah, definitely one of those items that you find there's just some pro players that they just love it. Like support, they'll be building Falcon Blade. Doesn't matter how the game's going. They sort of just see it as a crucial part of their hero's build-up.
Yeah, that's what AniMajor's been doing. I don't think anyone else is being as greedy as he
just Lanham.
It's Lanham. Like he plays position 5, phase boots pretty much every single game. Orb of Corrosion. He wants to go in, get those right clicks going.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
It's tower going down here. The fortification. T1 they don't want to stick around though.
I guess they give it to Phoenix, but knowing Lanham, like he wants to get the game on the precious. Yeah, Lanham is like Golem, dude. Like for gold, he wants all the gold in the map. Look at him, like he's taking this safe farm right now.
Wants to get his blink here, Lanham, but still quite a bit away. Success. Gonna drop the arena onto Zephyr. Don't know who's gonna have quite a burst. Zephyr's pretty tacky. Yeah, Zephyr. He's going to double this off. 23 Savage turning into the Mars there to pass them back, and it's going to give Zephyr the space to get out of there. So for Aster, that's an arena put to waste. And so that could be a cooldown that T1 could look to play around and abuse, of course. 23 Savage still with a good bit of timing on the Aegis.
23 Savage turned into... Yeah, 23 Savage turned into Mars, just use the voice line, "This is Dota," after they failed to kill Enchantress. I love it.
Smart stuff. It's smart stuff. I mean, just 20 minutes, not a lot of kills, not a lot actually, it's just 6-2. It's all in all, just a huge control of T1 in this game. And as you say, well, this is going to be a bit rough for Aster, right? Aster, they've got to try and pick themselves up, because you're turning up to the major. The first game you play, if you're having this sort of slow start and and tough opening. It's not going to be great news for you going into the rest of the series, the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. Whoever got the first, they don't get to play many games, like, compared to some other teams that played, like, 15 games or whatever. Like, they know. And some of these teams didn't play in a very long time, like, last games were in a month. They definitely played some scrims, but, yeah, I don't know how good grasp of a meta they got right now. Because this is the Aster meta shifted a bit. Like, we see these... Dragon Knights Axes being played on a safe lane. Aster pretty much with their standard lineup, you know. They have this Mars plus a Phoenix, Helena, standard stuff. Now they're knocking on their tier 3s. There's still 50 seconds left on Aegis.
Let's see how much T1 can get away with here. Monet, how's his progress looking? SNY done 1500 onto the sky, so still a bit of time. He's going to be too happy turning up already. They jump straight in, they blow up Lanham. And looking over towards XXS as well. Lanham buying back here to try and stop any further diving here from T1. Change it. One is the time of time for the good up. They're able to blow it up at a time that 23 Savage is going to be pretty happy. Gets the use out of it before it expires. They'll take the tower.
Radiant's bottom
They've got a little bit of time left on the Elder Dragon form. They want to try and get in onto the racks, but looks like T1 will play it safe. They know they've forced back the whole squad of Aster. T1, they're happy with taking the tower and just looking to continue to play this game out slowly and safely. BKB done on 23 Savage, so he's going to be pretty much impossible to blow up unless they get that initial opening stun. He's going to look invincible in these team fights. As Aster they'll start to step outside of the base, but what do they do?
They need this, I think, next set of items for themselves. Lina has 2,000 gold saved up, going for a Blink Dagger. Interesting, but like you don't really scale. He also didn't go. Oh no, okay. He didn't go for the damage talent. Went for Dragon. Well, this talent is so underwhelming compared to the other one. Like even if you want to go for this type of a build, like if you want to go more spellcaster, you still want to take the damage talent.
Scanning.
Yeah, I guess that's just because of the fact that you are a hero that has an inbuilt steroid with the Fiery Soul attack speed, that you're just always going to do more damage just flat out with that. Having the lower cooldown on your nuke is never going to be as good.
Stun? Where's the Hex?
Gonna turn, get the stun on the 23 Savage, but Lam's looking pretty dead. XXS is going to jump it, but he gets Hex. They save the Hex here for XXS, draining the mana as well. They'll get the spear up onto Zephyr, but 23 Savage, you can't with the BKBs just push on forward to take down the Mars. They're trying to get a fight going, but T1's just fully prepared for them there. Great stuff from Whitemon, just keeping the Hex ready for the Mars. And Aster, they're really struggling. 9 for 2 against them. They're down 10k here, 23 minutes in. T1, I mean, I don't think they could have turned up to this major in any better form here. This is top stuff here from T1.
Yeah, great initiation on Hex XS. There we go, with a bit more control, and I don't think they have enough damage. Like 23 Savage feels very confident going in. They even have like a stamina saving tool, 20 Holy Locket charges on the Enchantress. This item has been more popular lately. If you have a heal, you can buy that item. The item went pretty much from Holy Locket to Holy Shit Locket because it's that good.
No, it really did. It was one of those items that you sort of forgot was in the game for a long period once it was added. It's definitely in a much better place right now, as we're seeing. These Enchantresses, Phoenixes, they all want to get their hands on the locket.
Super tanky, just keeping a casual Ring of Protection plus a Raindrop, has a magic resistance talent on top of Hood plus a Pupil's Gift.
Yeah. So
super tanky. I don't know if they can even blow her up.
No, and that's why, you know, Zephyr with the gem at this point of the game, he knows that that's in pretty safe hands on himself. He's going to look for the jump, and he's going to get the stun up onto XXS. Lanham heads into the stun for 23 Savage. There's Lanham gone. XXS will lay down the arena, but there's no fight yet. They do have the supernova going to the high ground. The stun will buy a bit of time for XXS, not enough. XXS still dies. They'll jump in with the Laguna, but it's not enough burst. 23 Savage is fine. They'll turn their attention back in. Carl will instantly get Yules by White Album, so Carl won't be able to get the jump on him. Again, Aster just losing fight after fight.
Quick reaction there from White Album to be able to Like, he precast the Yule Scepter on a Dragonite. If Dragonite gets the stun, he's pretty much dead, wiped out. This is why Lion, Shadow Shaman are so good against Nyx Assassin. Even if you get the Carapace, like he can't follow it up, or you can surprise him with that instant initiation. He goes in, great play from 23 Savage, turns into Nyx Assassin, and then gets a 2-man stun, burns some of the mana. Like, none of the heroes like to play into mana burn, especially TB. He wants to be able to get that Sunder off, has a magic wand, so potentially there is a turnaround play, but needs to be very careful about it. They still didn't take those melee barracks.
They might have a chance of pushing them off now. Good timing still on the other Dragon form. XSS will jump with the initiation, but Whitemon's in with the counter. Comes in the Hex, onto the Mars. They're trying to burst through Carl, and this time they're able to do so. Aster, they'll bring down the DK. They can catch more XSS. He's got the arena down onto Zephyr. Do they have the burst for this man? Light down off the Enchantress. They'll pin him to the wall. Monet's trying to get out on this. Zephyr, he's still alive. He's out. He's past the Holy Locket. He's going to live. Monet dies. At 23 Savage, he's in with the BKB. The burst is there from Whitemon, as they may have killed the DK, but they lose Monet, and they can't get anything more than the Dragon Knight. Not even this Enchantress, as we see everything thrown down onto Zephyr. It's not enough.
That med barracks is just not going down, and as you said, Zephyr way too tanky with his item build. Now going into mech, they might need another form of a dispel. I would love to see a Holy Locket being built against the Fire Spirits, against the Sunder, great, and also against the Spirit Vessel, because Spirit Vessel kind of ruins all 4 heroes, everything except Lion. Now they're gonna go inside the pit. That's the second Roche, the most important Roche in the game. Cheese plus Aegis on top of the shard. Scan used by Radiant. Aster, they're not even close.
No, there's no chance of getting here in time. T1, T8 just pull out a very smart performance here. Not leaving any chances for Aster to really get themselves back in on this. It's looking almost impossible, really, for something to happen to allow us to turn this one around. It's going to rely on sort of T1 diving or making too much of an aggressive move, but as we've seen with the restraint that they've shown, slowly chipping away at these mid racks. You know, this team, T1, they're not going to make that sort of mistake.
Now, T1 is playing extremely cautious this game. They don't want to risk too much. Shards picked up by Lion and also by a Broodmother, so Silken Bola, AoE spell, and mischance to 80%. Like, it's literally 8 out of 10 attacks, which is pretty insane. But to go back to Lion, I think this shard is extremely good. You're caught inside the arena, you use mana drain on multiple targets, you kill TB illusions with it. They have no abilities that go through magic immunity, so he's going to be fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be huge. I mean, we've seen the way he's trying to play against XXS. It's going to be such a nuisance. You know, XXS, of course, not with the biggest of mana pools. He jumps in, one disable, you know, Hex into the mana drain, and by the time the Hex has come to an end, it's very likely that XXS, he's just not going to be able to get his combo off because of all the mana that Whitemon's been able to take away from it.
I've seen so many Lions just jumping in, using the mana drain on multiple targets, being magic immune. They group around and try to kill him, and then like some of the big spells land. Like, let's say you have a Mars plus Lion, then Arena, or anything that you know, has big AoE. Right now they don't have that one ability, but still very, like, one of the best shards in the game. I feel like I say that quite a lot, but it definitely is one.
Alright, Skadi done. On his way towards the BKB. We have seen Terrorblade win some very tough games. This one would definitely be one of the tougher ones if Monet's able to swing this one around. Down a fair amount, and a lot resting on his shoulders. Of course, right behind him is White Album, going for this incredibly elusive build. The bots, the Yules, the Blink, he's all over the place. But of course, with this sort of build, if they do get on top of him, he's going to be in a whole world of pain. Yeah, exactly. There's not going to be any saving this Lina if, you know, Carl Whitemon catches him with the stun.
A lot of mobility items. He also invested into Boots of Travel, not really utilizing the item too much because their pickup potential is so good. You have Lion with the Blink Dagger, you play on the other side of the map, and here we come again. They want to get this mid barrack so badly. Aegis plus also Eye of Skadi on Morphling.
Nice, huge. Here's 23 Savage. Now can they stop him? Of course, Monet wanting to refrain from TPing back to try and get as much of his BKB farmed up, but now with the pressure out, they still want to do their best at keeping these melee racks up. The fortification comes out. A couple more hits here from Savage. Just the one will do the job. There we go.
Dire's middle
And
barracks.
they can go for more with this. They still have good time left on the Elder Dragon form. They're ready to sweep straight round towards the bottom. And Aster, they weren't able to defend mid. Are they actually going to be able to defend bottom? Carl jumps in again. Ready to start the action. One just gets destroyed. They blocked the lead. They had the buyback straight away. They're in with the egg. Savage and Cuckoo starting to back off. They'll get the launch stroke rate down to 23. They still got that Aegis. They'll burst him the once. See if they can go for round 2 on the morph. 23 Savage is coming up. Launch strike ray is timed. Carl jumps in with the stun onto Monet. Again, we've seen White just draining the mana, stopping them from being able to really make much moves at all. White Album tries for the setup onto Carl, but there's going to be no follow-up. They've got to reset, get themselves back to base here, Aster. They'll keep the bottom racks and tier 3 alive for now, but a costly defense, of course. White Album, the mid, having to buy back for that fight as Aster just continue to fall financially further and further behind.
They will go back. They need to reset their BKBs. They need the Dragon form. Even though meta is down, they managed to get that buyback out of White Album, which is a pretty big one. And you can still see them respecting the damage coming out from the Terrorblade once he's in the meta. I want to see this Holy Locket. I want to see this item being picked up so that they have another way of dispelling things.
Yeah. No, for sure. And we'll see 23 Savage sort of adapting the build a bit. He's got himself a blink, so more of a chance of getting in, being able to get that first hit down onto heroes like White Album's Lina. Because he knows now at this stage, if he can jump in, commit, blow up the Lina, the game is probably going to come to an end. As there will be, of course, no buyback left on White Album.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Here comes Dragon Knight. That's a ton of damage on the tower.
Dire's
Already
bottom
gone?
tower has fallen.
Yeah, but the rack's not standing much of a chance either, as they get the jumping onto Lanham. Trying to heal him up with the sunray, but there's the burst from 23 Savage. Lanham's gone.
Dire's
Has got a
bottom
buyback, but
has fallen.
no chance of getting here in time before the bottom racks fall. A second set taken by T1. 23 Savage ready to lead the charge straight up to the top lane, as they know that there's very little that Aster can do to hold them back.
Meta back up in 35 seconds, but they need to hold. Mars.
That's the easiest they can blow a Carl. Get the opening there, able to take down Carl. 23 Savage is up with the BKB, he's focusing down the egg. Not quite able to take it out though. The egg will survive. 23 Savage still able to pop the cheese, turn into a ball racks. Lanham has got enough control on 23 Savage. Over to the side with the wave for 23 Savage. Turns to the next shot and gets the stall off the two of them. He's pulling up the straight. 23 Savage is still alive. Cuckoo in with the damage to blow out the on. 23 Savage, he's still surviving though. He's out to the side. They can't kill this morph. Carl's buying back to get back over to rejoin the fight. Whitemon standing his ground and draining the mana. He will die for it, but XXS and Monet, no mana to play with. If T1 see a chance to get back in on them. Of course, Aster now down 2 heroes without buyback for the defense. T1, they want to keep pressuring this as this push leads them towards the Megas.
This is going to be the Mega Creeps, because Enchantress pretty much healed them back to full HP. You shift everything to Agile. Good stun by DK.
He comes into the front lines to try and start a defense, but immediately blown up. XXS gone. Monet also out, and they'll tap it. They'll tap out here. GG is called as T1. I don't think they could have had a better opening here to their showing at the major. This game won. Looked at as good as it gets when it comes to the Dota, from the 19-6 22k lead 33 minutes in. Yeah, that was pretty much flawless the cost. There was an enemy.
I'm still fine with him. Even this DK pick, I think it's such a good flex pick right now that it does the same type of pressure. Because let's say that it does the same type of pressure. Because let's say it's like a DK offlane, they picked a different hero mid after they saw Lina, they have a better matchup. Could see something similar play out, not as one-sided for sure, but I do think that T1 has those elements for them. They've shown that they did their homework, so I expect them to have more than just, hey, we got Broodmother. You know, that was a last pick Brood. They already had a good draft without it, but I think they're going to have much more ideas because I don't think you expect to get that last pick Brood.
Yeah, I just love how you framed it though. Just the idea of it's perfect to create the space for the Morphling. Let 23 do what he needs to do. It was obviously the player that you guys put under the spotlight before this series even did start. With Aster, there's a whole bunch of talent on that roster, right? We can talk about pretty much any individual name, but with T1, the player that's getting all of the spotlight right now really does feel like it is 23 Savage.
I just think the carry matchup is really important in this series more so than any other. I've also been seeing the majority of teams save their carry until super late. Terrorblade, yes, his stock is rising. I know his win rate was quite high, but I don't think we've seen a first-round Terrorblade this entire tournament. It's always been fourth, fifth pick Terrorblades, and that I do believe that is the simplest fix that Aster can go for. And I think T1 can assume that they're going to make that adjustment, and they should be wary that if they do bring the same opening, that they might, maybe get a later Ursa pick or something that might deal much better with the Enchantress DK opening.
I was going to say, I think the Enchantress is something, too, that might be back on the menu completely. I know Kuroki's picking it like every time. He's going beyond godlike in some of these games. I think this hero just might be the other element that teams have to start looking at and being like, maybe this is the first 2 ban. Because it's just, you don't have team fight, sure. But the amount of pressure that you apply inside laning phase and dominance over the map, you don't let the other team play their draft. So I think that's another one that I'm looking at. Because Zephyr, he played it perfect. Picture perfect. I don't think you could say a better performance from anybody on Enchantress besides Kuro this tournament. So I think that's the other hero that I'm looking at.
I forget who it was who was saying it. I think it was AUI. I hope it is because, when AUI says something, I believe. But I'm pretty sure AUI was talking about just how valuable Ench could really be throughout this tournament. I know that.
I want to put
5
big
seconds
simple
remaining
eyes
back.
right now. One thing. Draft. We're about to get into
Radiant
2,
team
and keep
back.
in mind just how
Dire team
lock
back.
up.
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Welcome back, Palace. So we're 2 kings here with me.
Dire
Governor
team
Jay.
pick.
It is time for that sexy draft, boys.
Radiant
It's all
team
the
pick.
people chat waiting. Beautiful stuff. T1, TI. This is it. This is the draft that will set them apart. Are they going to pick it? How you doing, Jenkins?
Great, Sandman. I think absolutely
10 seconds
they're going to pick
remaining.
something interesting. Yeah, I saw everybody on Reddit, everybody in the group.
5 seconds
ESJ Brian
remaining.
Cannabis, as he likes to call himself. Sociopathic character. He was actually saying, Cuckoo, oh, you can't play Brood.
Radiant
Their
team,
whole
dire
their
team.
record is. They're in the team 0-2, so bad. I got gaslit.
Dire
Top
team
dog,
back.
he knew exactly what he was doing. And there's nothing we can refer about from DPC about T1. That's what they're telling to us.
Not only did your statement not make any sense, not only did you misuse 4 different words, this is the draft panel, not the game review panel. So please, keep your focus to yourself if you could,
10
Jenkins.
seconds
Try to pay
remaining.
attention as we see a Treant Protector and an Abaddon
5
picked up.
seconds remaining.
Yabba Dizzle! When's the last time we saw this Tiga?
Tier hasn't really
Radiant
been
team
a major
back.
team.
Dire
Like
team
Jenkins
back.
briefly mentioned before. you have to respect T1. Played a draft, which was all about kind of control, 15-20 minute kind of dominance required, and now they come into the second draft from Abaddon, and you go through like the previous draft. Where was Abaddon? Like it pretty much is
10 seconds remaining.
Draft, so they have kind of you just cannot use previous.
5 seconds remaining.
Polished. In regards to Aster though, the tree was pretty much kind of tool in Aster dominance of the. They were one of the neutralized the Holy Locket build on the trade buildings. Now they're gonna go for double hills.
Was watching our boy Cuckoo last night.
Okay.
And he was playing Viper pubs, and he was going for the build that Bach has. Looks like they some inspiration from their boys.
Radiant
So yeah, the
team
build of
back.
the Viper that is the Dragon Lance and the Scar.
Dragon Lance into Scotty,
the
yeah,
BKB
exactly.
stuff,
That
okay,
sort of thing. Kind of right-clicking, ranged, almost mid from the offlane build on the Viper.
It's interesting to say that because ending their draft, they wouldn't pick up Abaddon. It's hard to kind of pick, right? And that's why Aster
10
double here
seconds remaining.
because it's not as if you can get like a off.
Dire team back.
Viper. This is a hero that can go Skadi, heal mitigation from that. And it kind of could be like a pseudo version of what AA brings to draft. Viper does instead because of the style of playing.
Yeah, and the break as well, just nice. A lot of the toxic
10 seconds
back,
remaining.
even some like a Mars, Dragon Knight, which these are
5 seconds
out.
remaining.
Denies a lot of these here.
But EG tried, I say, to play a carry Viper. To
Good effort.
Remind everyone.
And they took that one from Quinn. That's
Oh.
an NA classic,
Wow.
right?
Radiant team
Last
back.
fan is gonna. Oh, Phantom Lancer. Oh. I think Abaddon has a lot that he could do. I feel like that hero's a little. With a
Radiant
Blink Dagger
team
Dragon
pick.
Knight, and then you can hold on him.
Yeah.
And then that's
Dire
ruined.
team
You know?
I think also it's a Holy Locket hero. Every single hero that can go for a Holy Locket is valuable. People can up Eon Disc in every game to better at disengaging the ABBA hero.
Seeing the style,
10 seconds
they're going to
remaining.
emulate the game one because ABBA, they got Viper. Like, ABBA
Radiant
helps
team pick.
run down people.
Enchantress.
Enchantress now as well. Like, this is going to be this exact kind of theme. You know, grouping up strong lanes and fight.
Not heroes like want running at you. I mean,
No.
it's hard enough to win a Viper or an Abaddon or an Enchantress.
Dire team
Early game on this one. Pretty solid for your standard Mars pick here.
Aster really isn't. Is showing that they haven't kind of developed from region league. They are sticking to their guns of what they're good at, what brought them here. It can be get you far into a
10
tournament, or it could be your
seconds
biggest.
remaining.
Right now, I'm seeing a lack of development. Going into game
5
one, I thought,
seconds
wow,
remaining.
give Aster the win. They're going to be
Dire
able to
team
find the
back.
space map, but he won this so relentless. Adapted so quickly.
I totally agree with the absolutely disgusting fluff panel and Fogged and Rick about the fact that this Enchantress hero is something that probably deserves at least be a consideration or a
10
ban,
seconds
because
remaining.
I really think the Holy Locket build on this hero and just running up
5
hills and
seconds
being
remaining.
unkillable and then also playing from the 4 position, it's not the same old Enchantress that were played in a total. It does a ton of damage. It's almost possible to kill. It's in the ass. It can actually roam around. In the 5 position, it's still a little hard. We're going to roam the enemy. You know, in that role, it's hard to roam. But as a 4, roam on mid, which is exactly what happened in the last game. And now they're letting it happen in time.
One, they haven't played a carry Magnus. Do you think that this is
Radiant team ban.
light and then, or is this just gonna classic mid? They'll have like a Juggernaut or some standard style of carry.
I have not. 23 Savage has exclusively been playing more.
10
Dire
seconds
team
remaining.
ban. So both of those heroes being banned out makes me. What the hell are they going to pick?
What's he got next
comfortable
year?
on?
Yeah.
Like PL banned out as well.
Radiant
You know,
team
it's
ban.
not. There's not much left. At least what spamming right now.
Drafting styles are so
Dire team
Aster.
pick.
It's all about slow pace, They want to farm for quite some time, then play Dota.
Radiant team pick.
Not respecting quite quickly. Lifestealer. This is going to be a Lifestealer most likely who needs starter build to do regards to the game. 3 heroes who can line up with Baden can run in,
10
Viper
seconds
when he gets
remaining.
run in, Lighter can run in. Aster has no real kind of gauge into it.
5 seconds remaining.
A lot of good deliveries. Magnus sprinting at them, Abaddon, so pretty scary, and it also limits what I think what they can pick carry position.
You may now select your heroes.
So, okay. So, really hard to run into basically delivery system. What if you're delivering into a hero that just wants to man fight you? I mean, that's what Deuce wants. I actually really like this Aster draft. But then again, we liked the previous draft as well, and that went horribly.
Yeah, I think the key thing here is T1, style of game. This Medusa pick is very strong from eventually, does have issues going into high ground. The way in which T1 was able to break down the map, count on your pass, like, to start with T1. You can ease over, like, think it's a Viper offlane into the... Medusa isn't going to have, not alone, with an empowered Lifestealer, accelerate his game. Lifestealer's biggest weakness, early items, bad at farming. Magnus will help that. T1, it's all about 3-20 minutes, close out the map quickly. Try and beat the Medusa before she gets the man to butterfly plug. And that's going to be when will then become a bit more clowny, and you're hoping for like Magnus to skewer her away from the fight, kite her out, kill everyone. That's when it's going to be high skill. But now, T1, it's about strong farm, early pace, run at you quick.
Enchantress 4 seems the most impossible hero to lane. I think Viper alone is beatable with Dusa, but I think Enchantress plus Viper, oh, pain.
I think they're going to run to one lane with all the quelling blades. Like the tree. It's like in all your pubs, like when the tree in.
No, you don't do that. The trees respawn. They
3 minutes.
Yeah, but they respawn. It can't do that anymore.
But the meme. Sending a message. Is that it? TI, Jenkins?
That's fair. Back to you, Slash.
Thank you very much. All right, well, there you go. Quick, and then we go into the game, and we will see just how many they get. This is TI on the line for T1. Let's see how they do. Game 2.
Bullshit.
Here we are again, ladies and gentlemen. Team Aster against T1. I'd say much better draft for Team Aster in this one. A lot of team fight abilities, a lot of ways to disengage the fight. Here I am again with my boy OD Pillow, and we're ready to hop in.
Yeah, what up, the cost? Looking forward to this one. And looking forward to at least seeing, if we can get a bit more Dota really just out of Aster. They didn't really get the chance to play at all last game as T1 completely ran them over. But as you say, definitely reason to believe that Aster will stand a chance of at least making this one a little bit closer. That last pick, Medusa, definitely looking like a strong character to rally around, despite the fact that so many carries were taken out of the pool. I think Mono's still, he's not going to be too disappointed with what he's ended up on. The thing is that how such things as a laning going to be? Do you like that they've done this from T1, Viper to the off lane, and then Carl on the Magnus in the mid?
I like the Viper plus the Enchantress. I think this lane, like what I want to see from Aster is blocking the big camp if necessary, go body block it, because Enchantress got so much from the previous game, got 2-3 big creeps, and then they just snowballed from there. Lifestealer this time around, he has Empower, something that he struggles with, that Panel talked about, is like getting to his second item, getting that, what he has queued up, just a Bracer and the Phase Boots, Ogre Axe. We've seen more and more Echo Sabers being picked up. It might be a casual Sange. We'll see what he decides to go for. I love Armlet here. They have 1 instant disable, and that's Lion. I mean, 2 if you count in Hex and Impale at the same time. I want to see earlier Satanic to be able to deal with the Treant Protector's overgrowth. It's another way of dispelling things, great against dispelling the silence, which he struggles against. But the bottom lane, it's gonna be nasty. Yeah. Okay, so they decide to swap things around. never mind.
They did, yeah,
so
but the support. So do you like this? Why have they done this game, do you think?
I think they want to have a stronger support for Lifestealer, because if you have Abba Lifestealer, that doesn't sound too strong, and they also want to put a bit... I think it's just more about securing that Lifestealer's farm.
We'll see if they're able to do that. Of course, last game we did see both carries have a bit of a tough start, tough laning phase. If 23 Savage and Monet and have a bit more of an enjoyable time in the early game this time round. Looking at the mid matchup, White Album on his DP against the Carl Magnus. You're a melee hero, you're going to get siphoned. I guess you've always got the skewer to get out. How do you expect to see this one going? Can someone get ahead of this matchup?
Magnus so far doing a very good job in terms of CSing, now puts a point in Empower, as you mentioned, like that level 2 Spirit Siphon when it comes online, the extra charge will start to put some more pressure on a Magma. We've seen so many times in this patch with the addition of the Water Runes where like even weak laners like Tiny seems very viable, like have that constant HP and mana regeneration, skewer back to the tower in the mid lane, good body blocks.
Yeah, some good damage here done by Carl. They'll have another shockwave in a few seconds, but not enough. Because one of the strengths though, as we're seeing defensively, White Album is if he does get caught in that sort of position, unlike pretty much any other hero, having the siphons will allow him to offset enough damage to keep him alive.
Lifestealer on half HP. Whitemon will use the healing salve to bring back the full. So far, decent CS. XXS doing a very good job this game. 16 CS, about to hit level 3. Also has a Ring of Health going into Vanguard, which is something that I have not seen.
Yeah, I mean, why do you think he's leaning the way of Vanguard this game? What's he seeing that's making him want to do that?
Maybe just a laning stage against the Lifestealer. Magnus also relies on dealing heavy right-click damage. Might still swap things around. I've seen a lot of Mars picking up a Ring of Health and then just keeping it.
Sure. Yeah.
They don't necessarily upgrade. You can also disassemble the Vanguard, because they don't have too much magical damage. You have Shockwave, you have Viper. Rest is pure damage and the right-click, so I don't think Hood this game is any good.
Where are you going?
See top. Borax. He's going to get taken out here. 23 Savage with the rage. He can stay on target. They can't get him off him. As first blood this game going to the carry of T1.
Nicely done. This is a huge lead for the top lane. Now sitting at the 22 CS and 1 extra kill. Going into phase boots. Like once he gets that, it's going to be pretty hard to run away from him. And he should feel safe on the top lane. I don't think they can burst him down from 100 to a 0. Mars 1-1-1 build needs to put more points in his aggressive spells.
For sure, yeah, if they want to have any chance of pressuring T1 up here, and which is sort of the difference from both carries, it's building up now. And Mona, he is having a rougher time down the bottom, just a 15 CS. T1 again, early days, but definitely similar size to what we saw last game of T1 just getting a better grasp of the game straight out of the laning stage.
T1's draft heavily focusing on the laning stage. Viper lane dominator. You have Lifestealer against the Mars matchup. You have the Enchantress. Some stacks are being made in the Radiant Triangle. There is one big camp being stacked. I want to see some more, especially if there's not much to do at the top lane. So Borax already going there, trying to stack the big camp. Might be late because he doesn't have Boots of Speed, just the Wind Blaze at the moment.
Nah, she's done with the stun.
He stunned it from the fog and will be able to stack it.
Yeah.
You need to be careful. Playing into Mag, playing into certain heroes like a Leshrac as well, allow them to invade your triangle and possibly get all the gold from it. XXS.
Gonna run him down.
Bonk,
and
bonk.
he's got the backup. Borax in just in time. Is it enough? XXS, he'll live this time, as he is out there very close then. A good job Borax was able to make it over when he did. And Borax, yeah, poked upon him well here by Whitemon. I mean, again, this Enchantress we saw last game definitely being a huge nuisance with it now. Whitemon on this top lane here by the carry. definitely putting in the work to make sure that 23 Savage has quite a lovely lane to start this game in.
And it's only gonna get easier for him, because once the Empower comes online, it's gonna be very hard to bring him down. They will need to use like Exorcism, run him down, possibly a Hex, even a Finger. Right now, he's still thinking about his items. He was having like Scotty queued up, casual Sanj. I think Armlet is the best choice. It's the cheap damage. You build it so easily early on, and then if they don't have enough burst, you can always toggle it. On the bottom, Viper. Going for more of a right-click oriented build, decides to buy Band of Elven Skin, so we might see either a Power Treads or a Dragonlance.
With my rage.
Oh, for sure, yeah, Dragonlance always feels good. The buffs that it's received always is that nice stat item if he wants to go all the way. That sort of build is in the mid lane. Carl, just heading over to take this small camp. White one as well, also starting to farm this, or try to farm some of this stack.
This is what I talked about. Empower is maxed out. Now they're gonna try to steal the stacks, but Aster is ready to defend it. He's in trouble.
Oh, Carl. Goes come out, but Carl using the RP to lock back White Album. So both,
it's fine.
Their ults going down.
Because he used the Exorcism, but someone needs to be on a mid lane and defend this tower. Glyph pop. Carl will pick up a bounty rune, so that will refill his bottle, 2/3 of
White one. He's trying to come over to maybe start to be a part of the defense, but of course walks straight into a line. Borax waiting on the high ground, him and White Album having the burst to take him out. Aster, though,
he might have done that on purpose, just to mitigate the damage done to the tier 1 tower from the Exorcism. Like, he bought time, and that one death doesn't really matter that much on the top lane. 23 Savage keeps on farming, so I believe it's all good.
Yeah, I mean, who could they really move up to this top lane to slow down this lifesteal? It's kind of hard, bro, because it's a solid lifesteal in the game overall.
It is, looks good until Medusa gets a couple of items, because they don't have too many gap closers. He is pretty much the only one. So Medusa will have a good time once she gets to her second, third item, straight into SNY. After finishing off what seems to be the Dragonlance, not even full Dragonlance, needs Ogre Axe.
Still just playing the catch-up lane after a tough laning stage for Monet. Started to get pretty close to top back last game as the TB, but it takes him a lot of time here.
I remember the interview that we had with 23 Savage during the second season. He talked about the Dragonlance, how it's a great item, you can disassemble it, and he always wants to build it on Medusa. Zephyr, well dropped.
He just sort of walked in and started punching the Medusa. It was a very ambitious effort there. Of course, Monet, he's got backup around him. So Zephyr just ending up sort of handing a bit of golden glory here to Monet. And he's going to be very happy with the Baron turning up in that fashion.
Abba position 4 doesn't provide you with anything compared to 5. Like, unless you snowball heavily, unless you get some return kills. In this game, you might have 2 position 5s. Or if you want to shift things around, I think it's much better that Zephyr becomes 5 and then Enchantress gets the items. Because we saw in the previous game what happens if Ench gets the farm. Unfortunately, they cannot swap the heroes. 9 minutes in, just type -swap hero. Maybe it's possible, Owen. Maybe it's possible. We saw
no one's ever tried it.
The game.
There is the possibility. Until they attempt it, they are going to be stuck, as you say, as they are. So a little bit of a slow start in that sense from the supports, but still the course. You know, just the fact that T1 2K lead, 10 minutes in. Just able to get that much more from the setup that they've had, and it's ramping up. You know, there's no signs of sort of this lead that T1 have slowing down, which is it's definitely got to be a bit of an issue for Aster. Aster, they lost control of game 1 pretty early on, and they did really struggle to get anywhere close to bringing it anywhere near back into their ballpark.
A difference in this game is they have Abba plus Enchantress, so you can't really make aggressive move. You can park inside, like in front of the tower, but you don't have that much tower damage early on. So Magnus decides to go for a Blink Dagger first item, which I really like, so that's going to give them one way to start a fight, either a Blink RP or casual Blink Skewer. Lifestealer. Something that I noticed about 23 Savage when he's playing Lifestealer is that will not be using Infest as a bomb. Most of the time just wants to be able to save the allied heroes, so something to look out for. Very good at it.
I'm going to maybe try and start some action here. As soon as he shows his face, he knows that Aster, they've got a lot up on this top lane. The four of them ready to try and push down a tier 1. Obviously, Exorcism up and ready to go from White Album if he wants to commit. Let's see if
Too
T1 put much effort into defending this.
I don't think they can defend. Tyrion Protector level 6, Mars level 7. You have the Exorcism up and running. Lion still level 5, but here comes Viper.
And they've got the Magnus coming over with the Blink ready. Arena's going to get locked down. They look to focus. We've got to keep eyes on Carl. Carl finds the jump here with the ult. The Empower out on Savage. He's going to jump over to the side, looking towards White Album. Will drop the RP onto the Death Prophet to allow them to burst through the DP. Catch Lanham as well. He's into the trees, Carl. Trying to clean them out, but Lanham, he'll make it away. So T1, they do actually manage to pull together the defense here. And the tier 1 tower not taking too much damage at all, not even half of its HP there. So another use of the Exorcism, which doesn't result in an objective being taken by Aster.
Radiant's middle tower.
Nicely done. They did a much better job than I expected. Viper tipping it into the trees, sacrificing himself for the greater cause. They got 2 return kills, and as you mentioned, 2 Exorcism already used.
What's off? XXS. He may have stuck around a little too long. Zephyr's going to try and help him out, but with the Siphon up on Carl, there's no chance for a jump out. Sticking around a little too long, and Aster not letting that go away there. Immediate response with the Overgrowth opening.
So Viper going for a more of a right-click oriented build, as we discussed. Ogre Axe died on a courier, going into Dragonlance, wants to have that extra range. I want to see what his next item is going to be. Maybe if he wants to get something more, like he can get possibly a BKB and just right-click people down. Panel discussed about the Scotty possibly on Viper.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Lifestealer
attack.
has one queued up, so we'll see. They need to talk about the items. It's very important. Unlike we did yesterday, I'm playing Magnus, you're playing Phantom Assassin. You still go for that Battle Fury.
I can't remember who it was, but there was a pro player who buys Battle Fury even though he has a mag. So that's my reasoning there. You got to have as much cleave as possible.
I would agree if we were playing against the PL, but never mind. Monet clearing up the ancient stacks. Same goes for Mag, who is working towards his. Echo Saber wants to be able to scale. They slowed down a game a bit. So in both of these games, we didn't see too much action happening early on.
No, definitely more of a chill sort of opening. And as you say, at least for Aster for this time round, even though they're behind on the gold at the moment, the fact that they do have the Medusa to fall back on and with some really good solid team fight and sustain around him, definitely leads them to have a much stronger chance here as compared to the sort of draft they had around Monet's Terrorblading game.
Much better high ground defense. You have Twin Protector to just stall the game. Lanham at the wrong
under attack.
Space, wrong time. So he is getting caught. This is the Lanham Classic. Twin Protector, something that he first shown in the DPC, going for the Holy Locket, Living Armor, amplifying the heal, amplifying the healing on the towers as well. So pretty hard to take down, very annoying to play into. They don't have that much tower damage, so you can't really go in, deal chip damage. One of the reasons why I love Leshak in Dispatch as well, because you have this Twin Protector who's super popular, and then you go in, take the tower easily. Medusa, after finishing SNY, which is coming to her shortly, going into Aghanim's Scepter. Aghanim's got nerfed, still very potent item.
For sure, one of the definitely more irritating carry Aghanims to try and push and fight into when you're just constantly getting held in position by the bounce of the snake, the stone. Aster swinging around bottom, see if they can catch it. It's just Zephyr around. And he's a bit of a tough one, of course. We'll have to borrow time. They can actually fight long enough through. Okay, they've got the Yules. With the Yules, they'll be able to wait out a good duration of the borrowed time. It's way through. I mean, gotta get those stacks, you know.
Gotta get him somewhere, indeed. That's the first stack. Because if you have 0, you're kind of in a bad spot. 15 minutes in. Finger was definitely not necessary, but Borax, did he get the last hit? He did, so that's some extra gold for him, working towards the Blink Dagger.
Yeah, the blink's going to be pretty huge this game against the heroes like the Lifestealer with the Rage. Still though, you know, even if he does get that jump on Savage, Savage is going to be tanky. The Sand's already done, nearly having it probably complete into the SMY. It's not going to be an easy Lifestealer to kill, even if they do get that jump. And talking about jump, T1, they're smoked up, Car's ready to go with the Blink RP. Let's see who we can find. It's going to get over towards Ladder. Go for the quick skewer back onto the tree. Themselves an easy kill here. We'll get the information for the rest.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I want to see who gets the first Roche. Maybe they want to invade the triangle, try to get a kill there. That Prophet very close to level 12, so Exorcism go from 8 to 16, which could potentially end up resulting in like taking a one fight in their own triangle and then going inside the pit. They have enough sustain. Mars in the end decided to go for the Vanguard and now going into Blink Dagger, so very hard to kill. Well, this is sample it at one point because there's really no need to have it at the later stages of the game. It's more of a, yeah, I don't want to get killed in the lane. Borax getting caught, that's a solo RP on him.
No, I'm back the cost. I don't know what happened there.
Bottom
hello, I hope you can hear me again.
Hello.
What
I was just failing. Sometimes I have nothing. I have long monologues as well. Lion got a kill, and that's pretty much it. Tower gets denied. They get the extra gold from it.
Still, this lead.
Are you gone again? You're not.
No, I'm just sort of contemplating. You know, Mone's trying his best to farm up, but this lead is just growing. It's just, you know, something about the way that T1 utilized the map. It's 23 Savage and Carl, this top net worth. I mean, once Carl has the BKB, it's going to be very hard to handle him. He'll just be charging in, very likely to always find the RP target.
Where are you going?
He's very hard to take down, gets the strength talent on level 15, Echo Saber down, going into BKB. If he feels it's necessary, can disassemble the Echo Saber and get a BKB earlier, and then get that possibly like upgraded again to Echo Saber or get an Orchid from it. A lot of players got better at disassembling items and just maximizing what you can get.
They're ready to go. The upgrade's going to come out. Range is already there. 23 Savage is going to head over towards Lanham first. Monet with the Stone Gaze trying to turn around. Even with the Stone Control Board, they just don't have enough damage. T1 is still full HP. And Monet, yeah, he's got to run. They're going to look to probably die. This Range is back up in a second. The 23 Savage, he wants to chase in. He'll plan for the easier kill of Borax so they catch the line out to the side. But I mean, Aster, they try and give it a bit of a go there when it comes to the team fight, but I mean, yeah, T1 barely taking any damage at all there from Aster's attempt to fight back.
Yeah, this Lifestealer is sitting at almost 3,000 HP, going in with the cleave, the free BKB on the hero. Pretty much impossible to take down, and now going into Scotty, just to reduce the healing, coming out from the Treant Protector, and that Prophet on top of it. That looks good, looks very good for T1 again in the second game. Next big timing is gonna be that Scotty plus a double BKB on Viper plus this Magnus. They're setting things up for a Roche. Potentially they have RP, did not use it in the previous fight.
And again, it's one of those situations where Aster, they're just not going to have the chance to get over here in time. And even if they did, I don't know if they want to try and take a fight, especially after the outcome of that last one. Monet he needs more time. He needs to at least have this Aghanim, as it feels like, to be able to try and fight. The Stone Gaze alone is just not enough in these team fights to turn them around. T1 are too strong right now and are more than happily to fight through some of these defensive maneuvers that Aster can pull off as a team.
This is something that the teams have been doing lately. Have 3 core that scale well and it's very tanky, gets bursted down.
So they can get more. They're trying to head forward, but again, Zephyr, very hard target to grab. 23 Savage as well with the Aegis, just not something that Aster can afford to jump on. So, and they get Whitemon, but getting anything else just still proving to be so difficult for Aster.
It's just a support kill. Good thing is Medusa is farming. She's not keeping up with the Lifestealers, but once that Aghanim Scepter is done, which is 1,000 gold away, team fights are going to become much easier for them. They will have 1, 2, even 3 resetting tools with the Gaze, Snake, Overgrowth. Even Mars Arena can be used defensively.
T1 ready to swing round to the bottom lane. Take another easy tier 1 tower here as Aster trying to trying to get out along this mid lane. Again, very hard for them to initiate, at least initiate without any counters coming into play. Zephyr is constantly trying to keep himself in the area of Aster's movements, so he is ready with Aphotic Shield saves. Fast to make a move. Whitemon as well, also just aggressively positioning himself, knowing that that is one of the pluses of having these two supports. Just two supports that just never really feel that good to go on, because you're not always going to be guaranteed to get the kill. Carl, the taunting down bottom here with the RP. As T1 is setting up for a fight, and they're going to find the opening. Carl, jumping onto Monet. The arena's going to come off. See, Carl still holding the RP for now. The Stone Gaze will come to an end. I mean, that's the two ults from Aster used. Nothing to be done. Aster has to run. Borax will be able to hold mana with the stun into the Hex. They're knocking down Carl. Carl, the BKB. He'll skewer out to reset himself. You got to watch him. He's going to be ready soon for a blink RP if he finds the opportunity. There's the jump. Lockdown's there. Catches the two cores. Do they have the damage? Whiteout getting taken down by this harassment from Cuckoo. And now over to Monet. They turn towards the next target. Monet, he's going to go for the TP in front of the ball, but the skewer back up. The TP is cancelled as T1, they'll take the fight. Lanham's trying to hide in the trees. He will manage to make it away. But they get the two big kills there, T1. Both the 2-set and the DP taken out. As just Lightstealer, lovely movements here.
Yeah, Lightstealer instantly connects on Medusa, starts right-clicking extra slow, kicking in from that Ghoul Frenzy, and to trash the bot Scotty. She's out of mana, pops the magic stick, and then she has enough mana for a stick. We see Carl using Skewer defensively, and then resets. So 2-man RP, nice and fast, something that I talked about that 23 Savage is really good at using. Doesn't necessarily saves Carl, but you know, just heals him up. And now they're in. They want to take this tier 3 barrack, tier 3 tower, and the barracks.
Huge push coming in to get this very early objective. Yet again, you know, just 22 minutes in, and T1 taking the melee barracks from the bottom lane. And yeah, just the way as well that Carl, you know, the patience from him to hold the RP, make sure that even though he was showing himself getting involved, you know, he wasn't just sitting at the side waiting for the opportune RP moment. He was playing right in the center of the fight, but knowing that he had that ability with the BKB skewer to hold back and come back in when Aster, you know, is already a point of the fight where Aster pretty much used all their ultimates and didn't have any response to it. Now straight away T1 they're staying on Aster's half of the map.
T1 can afford to get like a mistake or two in a team fight. They have the Aphotic Shield, they have a mech, Holy Locket, 23 Savage is going to march on Lion.
Yeah, and over to the side, Carl, he's in with the BKB, he's got the scoop back on White Armor. Another huge catch here from the Magnus. As he sets up 23 Savage to clean up the kills, double kill on the Lifestealer. They're pushing it down mid, and I mean, honestly, this game too, we're just seeing the same here from T1, just top stuff. There is no doubt about it that the work of preparation that this time put in has been huge. The arena will come down on a get the Stone Gaze off, but there's no damage. T1 don't care at all about being caught in this combo. It's Aster that have to run as soon as the ultimates are used. They just cannot fight T1. T1, they're all full HP. They're pushing down the mid.
There's the RP.
Carl gets the RP, and he's caught the big one. He's caught Monet. Out of mana. He'll go down. As the tips indeed absolutely going the way.
There it is. GG. I was about to say it. They might call the GG, something that IG really set up a new standard for it in the Chinese region, just calling out the GG early on. But T1, they came into this series prepared. First game, they last pick Broodmother, they stomped them. Team Aster in both of these games, they did not they didn't play Dota. They didn't have enough damage. T1 with look at them, look at how happy they are. I love them.
Yeah. Absolutely understandable as well. You've turned up at the major, you know, earning this spot straight into the playoffs in this first series you've come out with against, you know, the top Chinese side. You couldn't have done it any better. 2 games back to back. Now, first game, sure, you get a brood in, you know, that's smart and nice, but you know, game 2, they proved they don't need the brood. They're just straight up that much better. It's 2 games back to back. I mean, this is fantastic stuff for T1.